raspberry, which comes in a little sweeter, people still like how it's in balance with the sweetness and can still be nice and fresh with the raspberry and tart and balance the acidity and not still go too sweet.
Keep the integrity of the actual natural flavor.
Yeah, taste the flavor of the fruit instead of a lot of just back sweetening.
Yeah. Doug has got another question. He we were on that dry traditional. He was asking if you guys don't mind, what yeast do you use for your dry traditional, and are there any particular nutrients that you use, or are you just using the usual stuff?
I don't know what the usual stuff is.
Okay, well, what do you use then?
Not this Belgian thing.
Yeah, right?
Belgian thing, yeah, right.
Gotta teach me.
So yeah, no, it's organic nutrient, and then yeast. We have our house that we have played with and crafted to what we want it to be.
We're gonna.
What is it? But we like to use K1V. It's a good, strong yeast. It's fun to work with. It
can be a monster.
Yeah, it can be possible.
And then your regular just fermento. And then sulfite and sorbate, of course, just for stabilizing.
But did you guys say that you go down to around 10-10? And if so, how do you stop it at that level?
That's the trick.
That is the biggest trick. So that's something we figured out along the way, and how we get it there, and we go lower it than 10-10 for sure on some. The like the cucumber is sitting around lower than 1.
We serve that at 999.
999. That's what it came in at.
Wow.
And then, but with the stuff with where it's at 10-10, just a good, simple back sweetening with a touch of honey.
Yeah, that can get it there.
A good stabilizing procedure.
So you stabilize them back sweet, and you don't try and stop it at the right.
With the bigger ones, we
do both.
Yep.
With the bigger ones, we like to be do the math and figure out where we want, and then shoot for that and let the yeast naturally die off. And where right now, that's just one big thing we're playing with.
That's why we laugh and say it's something we figured out, or it's our thing, because it does really change per batch, and that's the important thing to remember. Not everything is the same, and
you can't cut or anything.
Yeah, you can't. It's not just a recipe. There's a method and a philosophy behind it all, and you gotta. Things change per batch and what you're dealing with, and we have no idea how beets are gonna react because we haven't done it, and so we got to do that. It can just kind of change as things go.
That's the fun of it. Always on your toes. Yeah. Never know what you're gonna get.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, totally. It keeps you, you never get bored. Have you guys noticed that on the batches that you're doing over and over, so you're, the stuff that you're, reproducing for multiple batches, is it staying consistent for you? Are you having to juggle or fine-tune, or is it more or less you've got it nailed?
It's pretty ironed out. Obviously, there's always going to be a little bit of juggling and tweaking, just because with using fresh whole ingredients, there's always variation in flavor. So there's always going to be that little bit of the hands that make it type of thing.
Yeah, we have found that with the Moscow Mule, for example, so that's fresh lime, fresh ginger, and we there have been times where we're pouring the lime juice after we're done juicing them, and it'll go in and you start with half, say, and try to get there and then taste it and realize, that's already there. Stopped right, that lime juice may have been way more acidic or have way more oil, sharper, something like that. So it can, it can just change as it goes.
So you guys since you're checking it all the time, though, you're able to stay on top of it and update and make changes.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And then, obviously, quick meetups of everybody going, everyone giving their okay or no. And we like to hear it.
Yeah, no decisions are made single-handedly. Everything's brought, to the other two, and we discuss things out and make sure that we're making the correct decision, and we go from there. And sometimes my palate might be off, and Dominic's will be on, and he'll pick up something that I don't. So
they'll have a totally off, weird day, and sometimes things taste horrible. And I've tasted stuff and been, all right, I gotta revisit that tomorrow because yes, it does, and then the next day it'll taste great. So you never want to just jump into something and go crazy. That's why we always make sure to bounce everything off each other.
I think that's wonderful. I mean, that you guys you're so in tune, with each other as a team.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Decisions can be made just because we know what the other two do. That's
absolutely.
For sure.
Well, I've noticed you guys sound like the three of you, like an old married couple, whatever. But I mean, you're finishing each other's sentences and stuff.
We've been through some shit. That's for sure.
I mean, I think that's really neat. I mean, you're obviously very much you've been doing this long enough with each other that you're sharing the brain is what I call it.
Nice.
Yeah, you have to.
You do.
You have to.
I mean, it's I can see that, with how you're doing things, and I saw that when I was there visiting, which was really I was impressed.
Mm-hmm.
So, all right. So I know there's people out there. There's a lot of trying to make dry and off-dry traditionals that happens, and sadly, a large amount of them, probably more than 50%, don't really turn out the way people want them to. So, part of why we've kept you this long is that we want to pick your brains and, and just get some conversation going around creating really awesome traditionals and particularly dry traditional meats, since you guys are, really, really aiming for that dry traditional crown. I'm really curious to see, where you're coming from and what works for you. And I think I'm going to see if I can get Pavel to come in. He took 6 medals at this Mazer Cup. 2 of them were the gold and the bronze in dry traditionals in home at the Mazer Cup. So we can add another voice.
Nice.
Yeah. So, tell us more about, how did you guys get to be so good at this? I mean, what are you doing that's so different than what everybody else, home and commercial, is doing out there that it's just consistently so good?
I don't know. I think we kind of looked at what the industry was and what we wanted to really put out there. And, in our mind, everybody's doing sweet, and we just kind of wanted to go a different direction. And with us, like you said, you can't hide anything with a dry mead. And with all of our experience throughout the years, we just said, fuck it. Like, let's go for it. And we know we can make good dry meads, and wanted to show that style of mead as well.
And show proper fermentation. I love the nothing to hide behind aspect.
And I think that it all boils down to the same type of philosophy. Like, while we're fermenting, like, we're tasting probably several times a day, and it's really just about being in tune with your product and letting it kind of speak through you. And yeah, then you just make you have your trial and errors. Like, not everything we've ever done is worked out, but if if you're doing your fermentation, it's starting to get a little stinky or whatever, you see that there's a little bit of a spike, or if the temperature goes down or whatnot, then you try to adjust accordingly and read what that live solution is feeling, and how you think that adding something, or doing some sort of addition or messing with it in any kind of particular way, if it'll do, if you think that it'll do good, then you try it. You follow your gut, and we operate very much on intuition.
Yeah, that's where the not saying, oh, how does everything turn out great. It's like, no, you just follow. Not everything truly does, but like you just follow what you feel on it.
And you let you have an idea of what you're going into with when if you say you're going to make, say, a cherry mead, and you have an idea of what you want it to taste like in the end, but you have to allow it to
get there
kind of
properly.
well, not only get there properly, but if it takes a curve and it's going towards something that you didn't want it to be, maybe you just kind of let it go and see where you go with it, and maybe it just turns out to be something beautiful because it's something of its own.
Makes sense. And I would assume that there was an awful lot of tries that went in there too, as you guys fine-tuned and tried to get it closer.
I think that's what we're doing now.
Oh, dude. That'll never change.
That'll never change.
Yeah. Like, we always want to push ourselves to become better at our craft, I always like the saying, you can call me a master the day I die. And yeah, there's always something you can learn more and, new tricks to do, even today, like degassing something. I was like, I do this. I don't know why. Like, I've been doing it for a week. And, all I was doing was moving the racking arm to the other side while I degassed it to, like, stop the swirl and push it the other way. And, everybody's like, is it working? I'm like, not at all. It didn't help out fermentation at all. But, I just curiosity.
We've got Pavel. Did you make it in?
Hello?
There he is. We've got Pavel here with us, and as I mentioned before, Pavel took 6 medals at the 2016 Mazer Cup, 2 of them in dry traditionals, both the gold and the bronze. So congratulations, by the way, Pavel. That's pretty darn impressive. To take 6 medals in the Mazer Cup is something to be extremely proud of.
What are you doing?
Well, and that's why we have Pavel here, to pry his secrets out of him.
All right. Out of those 6 medals, I think 4 were actually dry. No, actually 3 were dry meads. And all of them actually were made like 3 months right before the competition, specifically for competition.
Wow.
My goal was to make something light, dry, and in order to do that, actually, I wanted the honey to stand out. So, first step was actually trying to select the right honey for that. I used, for dry ones, I used the blackberry blossom honey, and for the second one, I used the clear sage honey from Oregon. Both of them actually from the same store, Old Blue Raw Honey. Something.com. Mm-hmm. So recipe was pretty easy. So I used the calculator before to check where the gravity would be. So it's like taking 3 gallons of mountain spring water and adding 5 pounds of honey right into there. So the volume was like 3.4, something like that. Starting gravity was 1055, I think. So for both of them, because I was doing them side by side, both of them had 5 pounds, and it just happened to be like if you do like something right, if I made like one mistake, both of them would turn out pretty bad actually. So I used champagne yeast EC 118 and Tosna protocol throughout the whole process. So
yeah, a lot of people say bad things about it actually, and there's a lot of people who don't like it out there. But it's all about controlling its fermentation.
Yeah.
Were you temperature controlling as well?
Fortunately, I didn't have to worry about that at that point because in the wintertime, I'm from California, and in the wintertime, it's naturally in my house about 62, 64 degrees if I don't use a heater. So I didn't use the heater. The temperature was going like between 61 to 64 back and forward, which was natural. So yeah, in order to recreate that, I need to wait until December and do it again.
Yeah.
Build a little room.
Or make your own glycol.
Exactly. And so it was Tosna protocol. It was about 2 weeks in the primary, going like slowly. Doing additions on the first, second, third day, and the 7th day. I used the mead maker's calculator to calculate how much toaster I have to use.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, ferment I have to